It's unclear why these arguments are called informal fallacies. Maybe it can be called content fallacies. But informal fallacies, when you're studying fallacies, is where most of the work is conducted. There are literature, there's books with 100, 207, 300. There's so many. In my own analysis, I believe there are infinite informal fallacies. So we're not going to go through a detailed analysis, a deep logical analysis. I just want to talk about a few of them. I'll give 5 simple examples for you to feel the flavor of informal fallacies. And I recommend that you consult additional readings to do a more deep analysis of informal fallacies. It's not to become an expert in them, but to study them well enough so that you feel comfortable of basic errors that may occur in reasoning. All right? Because there's one thing about it, our world runs on reasoning and arguments. And because of that, people who want to be dishonest, intellectually dishonest, find many, many ways to get around the arguments, all right? We want to study informal fallacies so that we don't unintentionally start using them as a valid way of arguing. So we want to help protect ourselves, become better arguers to know to avoid them. Other people use argument fallacies to present argument to get away with things with people by misleading people on the argument. It's intellectually dishonest, all right? So you would like to be on both sides to have clarity in your own reasoning and at the same time to be able to identify when someone has deliberately or unintentionally used a fallacy to present their point, okay? So let's look at some informal fallacies here, all right? I only look at 5, all right? They help illustrate philosophy and help illustrate basic misunderstanding that occurs. So it's useful for my course, okay? False appeal to authority. The premise level, they can be true by direct experience or some authority, you know, a scientist, a mathematician, or even a politician. The people are talking within their area and their statement is accepted as true, you go with the argument. They said this, they said that, therefore this, there's no problem. A false appeal to authority is when you go, say, to a dentist, you know, to solve a calculus problem, okay? And the dentist may get it wrong, but going to that dentist to do mathematics is a false appeal to authority. That's a kind of straightforward thing. And that should not be a problem for you. However, in philosophy, the only authority we accept, the only authority is the voice of reason. Understand that. We do not accept the voice of science. We do not accept the voice of mathematician. We do not accept the voice of priest. We do not accept the voice of politician. The only voice of authority we accept is the voice of reason. All right. And so whenever you're gonna present an argument and it's come from a scientist, okay, say some physicist, we'll present them, okay, and we'll argue, we'll say that's their authority, but we don't put them against the voice above the voice of reason. For in our world, the science can also be wrong or misled, all right? When nothing is above the voice of reason. Please understand, this is the strong position. But also remember what I told you. Who can do philosophy? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Everyone can do philosophy. You can do philosophy. The scientists do philosophy. The mathematicians do philosophy. When they're into their world, they sometimes might forget the voice of reason because they got into the club mentality. This is what we do in this area, stuff like that. Okay, but they all can do philosophy. And without someone from my area come looking at them, they're going to eventually, when they run a problem, they're going to do their own philosophy on their own area. Okay, they're also going to appeal to reasoning. Okay, so this is important. So when we're reasoning philosophy, the only thing we accept without pushback is reason itself. Here's another one. Generally, in arguing, you're told to avoid generalization. All this, no this, no that, okay? And you should avoid those things, all right? Except for in philosophy, we are the world organizers and we talk about all. We create the all. We create our moral theory, it's for all people, all rational agents, all right? We have the theory of happiness, it's for everyone, all rational agents, okay? So we work with the all, we work with the generalization, but we do not engage in hasty generalization. This occurs a lot in inductive argument. You see a couple examples and you go to the all. You observe 1,000 swans that are all white, and then you conclude that all swans are white. Induction never leads to that conclusion. Yet in the beginning of science, when many people did not understand that widely, okay, they would see many samples of the thing and then they generalize it all. No, that's not true. It doesn't matter if you see 10,000 swans, 100,000. That does not mean they're all white. You need to find another argument that will say that they're all white in nature. Okay, so hasty generalization from one instant to the all. That's something that has to be avoided. Appeal to ignorance. Appeal to ignorance is at the premise level, you have nothing. You'll say something like this: no one knows what the truth of morality is. No one knows something. No one knows the meaning of happiness. And then you will say, here's what happiness means. That's an appeal to ignorance. When you say no one knows the meaning of happiness, most people drop their guard. Yeah, I don't know. And the minute they drop their guard, you come and say, this is happiness. This is an appeal to ignorance. You have nothing at the top. It's like that informal fallacy that all statements are false. No one knows. That's blank. The premise is blank. How can you draw a conclusion from blank? No one knows anything. Then how do you know it? If you know what happiness is, then you know something. Then that's a contradiction. Okay, if no one knows what happiness is, then you don't know it either. So how can you give me a definition? Generally, that's what's going to happen, right? Sometime in philosophy, we have a lot of challenges, a lot of issues we cannot resolve, and none of us have an answer. I won't say I have an answer. No one else will say they have the answer. So no one has the answer. But we don't say, give you an answer once we say no one has the answer. We'll say something like, this is the best choices, or this is where most people gravitate towards, right? And if you have time, I really would like it if you research these arguments, look at the details, look at more evidence. Now I'm just giving you the flavor of these arguments, all right? These fallacies, I should say. An ad hominem fallacy, to the man, okay? Someone presents an argument and you don't like the conclusion. Rather than attacking the argument correctly by showing the premises are false or the conclusion is not the only conclusion from those premises there, you go and slam the person, you attack the character. Okay, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this. And the idea is that if I attack the character strong enough, people will stop looking at the conclusion. Or since I'm the one that don't like the conclusion, I attack you enough that I feel good that since you have devalued you, your conclusion is also devalued, which is false. The person may have poor character, but the argument still be good. The argument still be good. You must look at the truth of the statement and the conclusion that's drawn from it. The argument might still be good, even though the person has horrible character, right? Even though the person has horrible character. Ad hominem arguments. Straw man. And this occurs unintentionally with new people studying a theory, all right? You studying a theory and it's very complex. And the natural way it occurs, you may misinterpret that theory and then you criticize it, okay, based on that misinterpretation. This is a natural outcome of not understanding the theory. But a straw man is when it's really a full fallacy, not just the error, okay? Someone presents an argument, you really don't like it. And what you do is you distort. You usually alter the premise level, okay? Like someone may say, I support abortion. I'm a man. I say I support abortion because women should have a right to what happened to their body. And somebody come in and say, Alan, I disagree with your argument. Abortion should not be used as a form of birth control. That is completely wrong. Completely wrong. Okay? And so this is a straw man. My support for abortion was that women have a right what happened to their body. I've been straw man. My argument was distorted. Now it says that we need a form of birth control. Abortion should be used. We need a form of birth control. Therefore, abortion should be legal. That is not what I said. So in a straw man, it's like in farming, you have the scarecrow out there. They make a scary representation of your argument to scare other people away. Okay, straw mans occur real quickly. Like with the ad hominem, since I support abortion, somebody can attack me as a man. Alan, you're a man. How do you know what's going on with a woman's body? Please, come on, you're a dude. Please shut up and go away. And so you have both of these arguments are both prominent. It would be really, really great if you can go and do some additional studies on these arguments. I was giving you the flavor of these arguments, because in real life argument, especially when you're looking at it in social media and you have the politicians going at it, there is a lot of fallacies going on out there, okay? And so you are trying to assess arguments and learn how they work. You can focus on the positive stuff I spoke earlier, or you can focus on some of the negative stuff to get the flavor of how these things can work. Because there are hundreds and hundreds of these. Trying to memorize them will never work to your advantage. But becoming familiar with some of them, some of the classic ones like I'm looking at right now, will help you along the way to quickly be able to avoid these kind of situations for yourself, and as well as when someone puts something before you.